Hello and welcome to an evening of live rugby union here on B Champions TV. There's plenty of times this season, feeling around Sixways has been that the Warriors have come up against an army of men. And tonight the Cavaliers get the chance to take on the army themselves. Well, earlier on this week we caught up with Cavaliers captain Ben Howard to get his thoughts on tonight's match.
So Ben, Worcester Cavaliers are set to take on the army on March the 12th. You must be looking forward to it.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. It's always been a great game against the Army for the last couple of years, and hopefully this game won't be any different. So can't wait to get out there.
You'll be captaining the Cavaliers. What does it mean to you to be skipper?
Great deal, to be honest. I mean, it started off as a bit, wasn't really many other choices, so I think that's why I got the nod. But I mean, we've been going on a good run recently, 4 from 4, and hopefully we can continue that. So I can't wait to get out there and hopefully carry on the good run.
Yeah, as you said, the Cavaliers have been on fine form. What's been the secret this season?
I don't know really. I think it's always a nice mixture of guys when we're playing for the Cavaliers. I think you've got a mix of the younger guys who are coming up and always got something to prove, and a lot of guys have managed to catapult themselves from the Cavs into first team rugby. If you look at like George Ducothi, who was playing well for the Cavaliers and got his chance in the LV Cup, and Andrew Boyce as well. And but you've also got older guys who come down and they've got something to prove, they've got something to show, and they want to show that they can play first team rugby, but they should be playing first team rugby. So yeah, it's always good fun playing for the Cavs. It's nice open games, and looking forward to it.
What kind of challenge are we expecting from the Army?
Very challenging. I think they're always very physical, they're tough guys, and the forwards are always very, very hard. But also in the backs, they often have a bit of flair, and especially on the wings. So it'll be a very varied challenge. I think we'll obviously have a lot of young guys out, and for them, and for me included, it will be be a real good challenge, and be very varied.
You obviously missed last season's match against the Army where we won 66-30. Are you hoping your side can produce a repeat performance?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, hopefully we won't concede 30 points, but I think the scoreline there shows what great open running games they usually are against the Army, and how both teams endeavour to play wide, expansive rugby. So, weather permitting, we'll obviously go there with that mindset. We'll try and throw the ball around. We'll try and play some good rugby. We'll try and score tries. So, I'm sure they'll be doing the same. So hopefully it'll be a high-scoring game, and hopefully we can come away with the win.
And how important is it to have events like this supporting the charity Help for Heroes and the Warriors Community Foundation?
Tremendously important, obviously. I mean, they're both great charities, and the community department here works very hard with the various things that they run, and we've obviously got the Young Hits guys who are marketing the event for us, so that's great as well. So yeah, I mean, obviously, as I've mentioned, very important, and hopefully we'll get a big crowd through the gate and raise a lot of money for them, and hopefully the game won't disappoint as well.
Well, tonight's match has largely been arranged by members of the HITS programme. Now here's a short video to show Worcester's involvement with the scheme.
The HITS programme is open to anyone aged between 16 and 19 who lives across Worcestershire. They will be referred to us by connections or the YMCA, local hostels, by their school, or they may even self-refer them.
Trying to get disengaged or neat young people re-engaged with education through the hook of rugby.
I found out about the HITS programme through connections. I had a key worker, and as soon as I found out about the course I enrolled onto it. I didn't do very well in my GCSEs as well as I wanted to, so this foundation learning has helped me boost my maths English. I've done my gym instructor level 2. I should be doing my rugby coaching level 2 qualifications. It's done a lot for me personally. I've really enjoyed my time here as well. It's not just the educational side of it, the rugby is brilliant. Probably moving on to doing some work experience, and then hopefully get an apprenticeship.
Anybody who's interested in volunteering or providing support, then get in touch with us, because the more support there, the better. And it also helps with the local community and provides a big footing for these young people.
Well, kickoff is fast approaching here at Sixways, and earlier on tonight we caught up with Sam Vesti, who is the Academy transition coach here at Worcester.
So Sam, it's a big game here tonight between the Cavaliers and the Army. Are you looking forward to it?
Absolutely. I think first time in a while that we've had quite a good track. So hopefully we can throw the ball around and see some developmental rugby and some youngsters really showing us what they can do.
And the Army will be quite a physical side. Are the players looking forward to a physical challenge tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we know what the Army are going to bring, which is a set of very big blokes who, if we run it down their channels, are going to hit us hard. So I think we want to probably play quite an open game, and knowing some of the Army guys, they will as well. So it should be a good spectacle, but when those collisions happen, I can see them being very big.
We've named a strong side tonight with a mix of youngsters and more experienced players. Anyone in particular we should look out for?
Lots of players really. Those young academy lads coming through, just good to get those names, see how many turnovers Boyce can get. Andrew Boyce at 7, George DeCothy, little live wire, and it's good to see Elliot and Tiff battling it out for that 10 jersey, and both looking good and promising, and to name just a couple really.
We beat them quite comfortably last season, but no doubt it'll be a bit of a different side and another big test.
It will be a big test. So it's, as you said, there's some good experienced players there, and there's also some younger players, and it's really important that those younger players get out there and show us what they can do, and those experienced players lay a good platform so that we can put some points on the board and also defend well and just play good rugby.
And how does a game against the Army differ from your usual Cavaliers game against a reserve side maybe?
I think any game of rugby you ever play, you have to get up for it, otherwise it's just not going to go your way. So in terms of mental preparation, will be the same, and then probably we'll look to exploit more chances today, partly due because the weather's going to be nice, the pitch is going to be dry, we can play perhaps from a bit deeper, whereas in those A-team games sometimes middle of December it can be a bit boggy, and you might have to put your foot on it a bit more.
And from a coach's point of view, do you look for the win, or from a match like this, are you looking for performances? I'm
looking for performances, but there's not a bone in my body that doesn't want to win as well. So I think it's important that we play the right way, and if we play the right way, the result will look after itself. Cliche there, but it's so true, especially in A-team games, under 18s games, all that sort of developmental stage of rugby players' careers. It's important that the performance is there.
I'll let you get back inside and prepare. Thanks very much, and good luck, Sam.
Cheers, thanks.
So Andy, a big game for you tonight.
Oh, massive. We're stepping up the challenge in terms of quality from the varsity games and Roslyn Park. We've now got Worcester tonight, and the boys know what the challenge is going to be.
It's an annual fixture here at Sixways, so in some respects, do you know what to expect tonight?
Oh yeah, we know after last year's result, we certainly know what to expect, and to be honest, from Army Rugby's point of view, we're benchmarking. We're looking to really improve on last year's result, and individually take on your Worcester players in terms of their personal challenges in terms of performance.
The Cavaliers have named a strong side. Are there any players we should look out in your Army side?
Yeah, we've still got a couple of our players that are not available due to either their club commitments, like Rockadaguni, or operations, coming back from operations, etc. But we've got some really young, exciting, pacey backs. So you may want to look at Bishop, who was our 7 sort of star last year, and Vessels, who's coming back in the centre. They might be surprises tonight.
And how important is this match in preparation for your annual clash with the Navy later this year?
We don't have many fixtures. We've only got about 7 fixtures after Christmas, and we ratchet up the level at which we're performing. And Worcester now is a real important benchmark for us to see where we are, leading up to the RAF in the middle of April, and then the big Army Navy, which is at Twickenham on the 3rd of May.
Andy, good luck tonight. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay, we're all set then. It's the Cavaliers versus the Army coming up after this break.
You have reached your destination.
I wish Worcester made portable sat-navs.
I wish Worcester made office chairs.
And umbrellas.
Computers.
Revolving doors.
Worcester actually make boilers, but they're so well built and so reliable, you'll wish we made everything. Just ask the thousands of installers and millions of owners out there. Worcester, you'll wish we made everything.
Jonesy, like.
Hello and welcome to tonight's match between the Cavaliers and the Army here at Sixways Stadium. It's a cold night at Sixways and a big match in front of us. I'm with Alex Grove and Ed Sherrington, two of Warriors star first team players. Alex, what are you expecting for tonight's game?
I think whenever the Army come to Sixways, it's always a physical encounter. You know, I think we've won the last couple of years, but I mean, last year we had a pretty experienced side against them. But typically they'll play for the 80 minutes. They'll always have a few ringers in. The left winger looks quite lively, and obviously up front they've got some experience with Chris Budgeon.
What do you make of Warriors' team tonight? Should we run through the teams here before we get started?
Go.
We've got Ben Howard at 15, Josh Watkins 14, Matt Stelling number 13, Andy Simmons number 12. James Stevenson on the wing, we've got Tiff Eden at fly half, George DeCoffey at scrum half, George Porter and Jerome Schuster in the front row. In the second row we've got Shay Carey and Chris Jones, and in the back row we've got Josh Padilla, Andrew Boyce and Campbell. On the bench, Callum Young, Paul Andrew, Josh Diffley, Cam Thompson, Joe Rickwell, Elliot Davis and John Hughes. We're underway. Early thoughts, guys?
We've had a good start, you know. Cam Goodhue on the ball here. Ben Howers, he's captain today. He's a great player. He's made an outstanding break. Boys are on the front foot here. Nick Seymour goes with a pick and go. Powerful player, bumps off one, makes great ground. Grosy.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see Ben Howard at full back. Given the space and the young back three, we've got real exciting, particularly when they've got ball on the front foot. Unfortunately, they just kicked the ball away there. I'd like to see us keep the ball in hand a little bit more. It's dry, firm surface, and it's probably going to suit us tonight. Penalty to the Warriors on the 22, 15 in.
That was 7, Jeff.
7 was there.
The first chance to see Tiff Eden kick in. He's quite a young talent, isn't he, Wood?
Tiff Eden, yeah, he's unfortunately had a few injuries this year. But yeah, he's been training well. Dean Ryan thinks a lot of him. Yeah, he's got a bright future ahead of him. Nice kid as well, real nice kid around the place. Also, it's a great opportunity tonight to see our new tight head signing, Jerome, with Chris Bud.
I'd like to see us keep the ball in hand a little bit more. It's dry, firm surface, and it's probably going to suit us tonight. Penalty to the Warriors on the 22, 15 in.
That was 7, Jeff.
7 was there.
The first chance to see Tiff Eden kick in. He's quite a young talent, isn't he, Wood?
Tiff Eden, yeah. Well, by Worcester and Cam Goodhue, very good player, Kiwi born. Great pressure by Andrew Boyce there, great pressure. A good future ahead of him. We've got James Stevenson, fast touch fibres all over the place with him, chasing the ball. Bit of a reckless challenger from the Army, but I think we're playing on. Budgeon, yeah, another bright future in him. Great handoff, great carry forward. Alex?
Yeah, I think the first signs of the Army actually having possession before they kicked it away, and as soon as we slowed it down, they just opted for the kick and feeding our back three, which is what I was quite excited about. Josh Watkins, first time he's had a bit of ball in space. Oh, and he's just overshot it. The more we can slow their ball down in defence, I think they'll kick the ball back to us and just say feed our back three, and that's what we want.
And that's our first real chance to see Josh.
Yeah, Josh made a real good account of himself in the LV. As I said, his first team debut was against Mark Guaita. He's had a number of caps, but it's quite often.
We're lining up here for our first scrum. It's always a massive part of the game. Obviously, I'm a hooker. I know this. This is where it's won or lost for me. So we're going down first scrum here. Let's have a look at our Jerome, the new tight head. And there we are. The scrum goes down. He's having a little chat to the front rows here. Let's see how we're going from here on. This is an army ball here. Let's go get him, boys. Let's go hard here. Big scrum for us. Bit of an early shove there, but the refs let it go. It's a decent scrum from us, but we've been penalised. Not being biased on the front row, I know what I'm talking about. It's a bit unfortunate, but we've had a knock on here and a knock on again. Yeah, not the best skills shown from both parties here. We'll have another scrum. Let's see how it goes the second time round. Alex.
So our first attacking opportunity in the Army's half. Ideal platform can get a decent scrum, as Shev's touched on here. Probably look to send Andy Simmons, our 12, through up the centre, and he's gone.
And there we are, the scrum goes down. Standard throughout the season, really. Let's hope the ref has a good game tonight. You know, like, we don't often speak about the ref in a positive way, but he can really make the game tonight. This is an army ball here. But we've been penalised, not being biased on the front row, I know what I'm talking about. It's a bit unfortunate, but we've had a knock on here and a knock on again. Yeah, not the best skills shown from both parties here.
His half. Ideal platform can get a decent scrum, as Shev's touched on here. Probably look to send Andy Simmons, our 12, through up the centre, and he's got Max Evans picking up any offloads. As I say, all starts with, as Shev's touched on, with a set piece. If you can get a decent platform, and Tiffy even can pick his play and exploit that space between the 15 and the open side line. Scrums all over the place. And is that feeding as it shows?
Yeah, feeding there, Alex. Not the best scrum from us, you know. Scrum there if we're going to get it. They've asked for a scrum again. That's gutsy from them.
Again, as a hooker, when you've got a series of scrums over and over again, what's going through your mind? Are you trying to win penalties? Are you trying to win the ball and get it out to the back?
When I scrum, I want to scrum and I want to get a penalty. You know, like I said, it's a edge on us, which is unfortunate. We've got a power and weight of players, and how much? Out of the 8, so technical is a massive part of it these days, especially the laws change as well. Better platform to start off in the scrum. Yeah, maybe we've got first line out there. Mental throw from the army hooker. Overfully
Put the opposition under too much pressure, because after 2 phases they're knocking it on. Here we've got an opportunity to the ball down, and I'd hopefully force them into a kick. Perfect.
Great charge down there.
Andy Simmons has got time to pick it up. And it's been kicked out of his hands. What's the referee going to do here? Is that a penalty, or is it
I think we've seen a knock on there from Andy originally.
I think it looked like it was kicked out. He's consulting his touch judge. He's gone for the knock on, to be honest, but that's...
I think maybe just a little bit too overzealous. I mean, Andy there.
Yeah, well, it was a golden opportunity, but you know, he's got to pick the ball up, and the guy's under a lot of heat there. He's under a lot of pressure, but you know, it all stemmed from Worcester slowing the Army's ball down, forcing the Army into a kick, and suddenly we're the ones going forward. We've got the opportunity of a charge down. So I think if we continue to dominate the breakdown, then the tides will turn, and we'll get some ascendancy in the skin.
It's been a dry day in Worcester, but obviously there's a bit of moisture out on the pitch today. When it is a bit wet out there, how much more difficult is it for a back like yourself to get your hands on the ball and play?
Yeah, obviously catching and passing becomes a little bit slower. You've got to take a bit more depth on the ball and give yourself that time. Otherwise, it's just so easy for defences just to bring line speed and put you under pressure. Probably is a little bit greasy. Just got to, like I said, give yourselves that depth and handle and put that one behind him and then get the ball in his hands again and make amends. A better scrum there from the Warriors. Putting Army under pressure now, looking for clear. No penalties here. We should be getting a line out. Worcester ball. There we go. So decent attacking space here for Warriors. Let's hopefully the line out will function. Get it back into the game. Unfortunate out there from Andy Simmons. It's been the story of the game, really. You know, knock on after knock on. But yeah, we boys need to relax. There's a little bit of moisture out there. But yeah, I think it's going to be a decent game. Our first line out, see if we can launch it. Not straight. I think we've had two decent opportunities with the scrum on the left and that first line out there to really put them under some pressure. The structure of the Cavaliers game should pull them to pieces really. So at the moment they can't be set piece and get into our game. So not straight, so it's too bad for the but if we kind of pull it on the scrum so we kind of got it back and we'll change pieces on the ball, catch it Friday, go for my boundary ball, go on again. It's great luck. Outstanding player, in my eyes. A lot of experience. Particularly when we're playing out to the edge here. So let's see what we can do. Little clip there. Little gutsy. He's on the mark. Little splash.
Austin, get set up! Here!
Big ball players, big ball carriers over the top of them, put them under pressure, force mistakes. Here they've been done. I think they're not rolling away. It's a full shot to goal for Tiff.
Midway through the first period, it's Cavaliers 3. Tiff another 2 still. Another successful penalty. Tiff impressed in the summer down at the 7 sometimes special. He was a very good kicker on that day. Do you think his strengths are his kicking?
Again, Tiff was one of those players like Josh Watkins. He made a really good account of himself. He got an opportunity in the sevens, like I said. Had a great performance down at the ref bar, and it was a pretty brutal injury, like I said. Had a great performance down at the ref bar, and it was a pretty brutal injury. When he stepped up for the conversion and went over the angle. Showing a lot of faith in him, and he's getting his opportunity tonight, and I'm sure he'll go on and next season have a bit more involvement in the first team.
And of course in the academy we've got Elliot Davis at fly half as well. And how important is it at a young age to have someone really competing to get the best out of you?
Well, those two guys, Elliot and Tiff, same position, similar ages. They're competitive animals, and they'll be pushing each other, not just in training, but they'll be pushing each other in the gym. Both fighting for the same jersey. Yeah, Groves, you touched on it, they're competitive animals, you know. Since they were young, bat balls on beaches with dads, they've always wanted to play, you know. They're hunter-gatherers, like I've always say that, we're full of testosterone, that's why we play the sport. But these young boys, it's a great base for them to grow. And if they can all just relax now, just get into the flow of the game, have a good spectacle on hands. See Kerry Jones, ex-Wales international, down on the off the kickoff. Looking forward to watching the rest of the game with him involved.
Cavaliers 6, Army 3. I think it's really important that the Cavs get back on top and dominate the set piece. And as I say, Max Stelling and Andy Simmons, I think, really can get the better of the opposition centres. Again, this is exactly where we had the first scrum. Perfect platform, an opportunity for our centres to get over the top of them and give Tiff Eden some options, hopefully on some quick ball. I'd like to see Josh Watkins come over on his wing. Here he is, just standing between the centres, between 10 and 12. When there's a blindside winger in behind 10, it just makes defending so much harder. There's a second wave of attack, particularly as an outside centre defending it. You've always got that threat of the blindside winger going in behind the centres, or your opposite man, the outside centre. So you've got to make a read on the play, and hopefully we can put that 13 in some heat now. There's a lot of pressure coming from the Army, and I think they've turned us over there quickly. I don't know about you, Cheryl, but I think the scrums make a mess of the game. What do you reckon? I reckon a new ruling this year should be just basically 16 guys in a huddle, or uncontested scrums, or would you be out of a job? What do you reckon?
Pretty disappointed to hear you say that, Rosie, to be honest. I'm renowned as one of the best scrummagers in the league. And, I'm here to do a job, and if the scrums were taken out of the game, I wouldn't have a job. Disappointed to hear you say that, but like you say, we're different animals. You're back, I'm a forward. I do the hard work. You send me over that.
Carry in! We're going for the forwards early on here. 3 successful kicks, 6-3 to the Cavaliers. Cavaliers will be looking to stand there for authority as this match enters its final stage of the first half. Switch out to the right, Max Stelling kicks it forward. Out in the club. Line brought back up into the Cavaliers half. When the forwards are having so many scrums and that's where the battle is, what's going through your mind as a back? If you're Max Stelling now, are you thinking, get the ball to me, I want to show what I can do?
I think it's we don't want to set piece game where we're just going from scrum to scrum or line out to line out. As backs, we've got a responsibility to look after the ball in wide channels, and not make unforced errors. That's what's leading to the scrums clearly. So Max drops it on the boot there. He's seen the space, he's identified the space in behind the defence, and the guy's got a good kicking game. He's just miscued that one, and it's gone straight out. It's an unforced error, but otherwise we've been a 50-metre game. So, this is, I think, right now playing into our hands. We're going to slow their ball down. If we can keep them around the halfway, they're not really a threat there, and it'll force them into kicking the ball and feeding Ben Howard. That's great line speed. Cam Goodhue mopping anything up on the inside. It's a 5-metre game and gets us over the ball. We can't allow the Army to get into sort of a broken field, unstructured game plan, because that'll suit them. We want to stick to a more structured game plan. Whilst our guys haven't had much rugby recently, they've probably spent more time training with each other and know each other a bit better. So that's an outstanding kick from their outside half. That's an outstanding kick. Real heat now on Nick Seymour to get this line out right. Exit cleanly. And should take us up to around the 10-metre line.
Nick Seymour's down here. Don't know if it's tactical to have a little breather. Rosie just said that it's a crucial line out here. I'd probably do the same if I was on the pitch, just gather my breath, gather my thoughts, smell the roses, relax, get the ball in, clear, let's play on. A big part of the professional game at the moment is being able to get rid of negative thoughts in the game. For instance, myself, if I have a knock straight, have a bad scrum, have a knock on, can't hold on to themselves in the game unless you're not going to play well. So boys have formulated different key things to do throughout the game. If you knock on, like clicking your fingers, just restarting again. Yeah, I think you get so much mental pressure in the professional game at the moment. I think you've got to be strong physically and strong mentally as well. Great call by Chris Jones there. Completely dummied the army pack and we're clearing. Good box kick there. Not as contestable as I'd have hoped. And we're playing with the back on the back three. It's a good carry there from the 15 in the army. We're playing again, yeah, good hands. Great tackle, Max Skelling. Good future in front of him, Max Skelling. Been a lot of pressure on Alex Grove at the moment in the first team. Still got a few years of developing. Grove's obviously playing very well as well. Carry there from Nick Seymour. And I'll pass you over to my commentary partner, Tom, the intern.
Starting to liven up a bit down there. Ducotti gets the ball out of the scrum and leads to Shea Carey. Ducotti again. Moves it out to Eden. Moves it out to Chris Jones. Chris Jones with over 200 Premiership appearances, a very experienced player. Will no doubt be guiding these young Cavaliers as they look to claim another victory against a very tough Army side. His burst forward there. And Ducotti picking the ball out once again. He's only a small scrum half. Another one with a big future. And James Stevenson bursts forward. Continues with the ball down the left. Tries Josh Watkins. Back for a scrum. Just touching upon Max there. Max is another player who signed a contract like you did, Alex, earlier this year. And with the contracts, it's nice for you to sign a contract with a club and continue here under Dean Ryan. And how important is it to have young players like Max Kelly pushing you all the way?
Yeah, I was delighted to resign. I'm happy here. I'm being challenged here. It's an environment that's conducive to learning. And so Max is a good player. He's had a number of appearances for his first Premiership appearance this season. I think he scored a hat-trick on his debut over in Spain in the European Cup last year. So he's clearly making the most of any opportunities he gets, and yeah, he'll be looking for tonight just to get a bit more game time under his belt. So there's not been too many Cavaliers games unfortunately this season. But I'd say him and Andy Simmons in the centre are a real strong partnership, and I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of Andy too. We'll get a bit of a mess from that scrum, I think. Ducotti, rotate. There's space on, he's closed it up. There's space on wide, we just need the ball a bit quicker. You can shorten the defensive line of the Army, then there's space to be exploited out wide. I think we just run out of numbers at the moment. So yeah, that's what I was talking about, just we're probably forcing the ball a little bit, and knocking the ball on, unforced error, when if we would have put it in behind them and squeezed them in their own half and forced them to rotate, it's probably a better option. You know what it's like, having to pitch a ball when you're 5 metres off your own line. It's probably a hooker's nightmare for truth be told. A hooker's nightmare, not mine, Rose. Enjoyed throwing in.
I think it's been 1993 since we last failed in the gym, and last did not straight in the line now, is that right?
Correct, Rosie. Rarely get a knock straight. one of my strengths. But let's get back onto the game. Mental hit there from Chris Jones. Put the full back for the Army into last week. A few big hits going in.
Got Budgeon playing 10.
Budgeon did step up at 10 there. Not the standard 10 shape that you'll see these days, Alex, is it?
It reminds me of ex-Warrior Andy Goode, but with a probably better lid, to be fair. It's a great example of slowing ball down instead of getting the penalty. We've actually we've knocked it on in contact, but.
Peace merchant. No, yeah, it's that first little tape.
I feel like I've known him for years.
English not the best, but I'm fluent in French, so it's not an issue. Yeah, we've had a little break here. With another scrum. I think the scrums have been slightly better. Like I said, the Worcester boys know each other, but they wouldn't have scrummed as a unit together probably as much as the Army. So yeah, they're probably finding their feet a little bit. Scrum being led there by Nick Seymour, doing a decent job. I think everyone's a bit nervous at the moment in the side, a little bit tentative, a few knock-ons. But yeah, I think the game's going to open up in the second half. Boys will probably get a bit tired, a few more gaps opening, and let's unleash the fast-twitch fibres. Let's have a look at this scrum then.
The Cavaliers have been the strongest side in this first half, and of course they lead 6-3. 2 good kicks from Tiff Eden, 2 penalties. What do you think, Mark Hewitt and Sam Vesti, the
Well, it's a disappointing set piece. I think that's looking at that scrum. They'll be saying if we can hold a scrum, and in fact the last time we had possession, we kept hold of the ball for I think 5 or 6 phases, and actually we had Jimmy Stevenson with a one-on-one, and he made a forward pass in the end. But it shows after a few phases, I think we can break down the Army's defence. And if the Cavaliers are disciplined enough with the ball in hand, and particularly in the contact area, to hold on to it, then we're going to challenge them. Probably playing a bit too much rugby in our own half and around halfway, where we're not really going to test them. If we can play field position and then keep hold of ball between their 10 metre and the 22, that's when holes are going to open up, and we should score a few tries. Got a chance here for the Army to level things. This thing is just fallen short, and he'll touch it down for a 22. I think this has got to go long, make them play out from deep, and kick to us. Talk to us about like the kick chase and the importance of the forwards and the backs.
Obviously not everyone in the team's the same pace, Grovesy. I'm a little bit quicker than you. So when I'm chasing up, everyone's got to be in the same line. You're as fast as your slowest man, is what the words are said on the pitch. But yeah, you don't want dog legs, because that's when people are missing tackles. But great line speed there by the Cavaliers. But we got an offload, which has put us on the back foot a little bit. But I think we're all ready to go again.
That's a really soft penalty conceded by Worcester. The opposition 9 was obviously playing for the penalty there. He was pretending he couldn't get the ball out. That's a smart play, streetwise play from him, but it shows a sense of naivety from Shea. He's got to roll. If you're a tackler, the referee's looking to penalise you. You've got to tackle, roll away immediately. If you're trapped to the bottom, at least you've got to show intent to roll away. Just to lie there and say you're trying is not good enough, and you'll get pinged. It's given them a platform 30 metres out to put us under some pressure. Interesting, we've got the Cavaliers put Josh Watkins, blindside winger, inside Tiff Eden defending here. normally the hardest place to defend from a line out is between the back of the line out and first defender. So that channel, that channel we've plugged with the blindside winger just to steady the ship.
Untidy set piece there from the Army. Scrum's going well, line out not so much. I think it's been a bit of a mixed half. Worcester been on top in defence and attack. The Army seem to be quite one up, and we're dominating the collision, but they're getting all their go forward from the scrum. Andrew Boyce, their massive future. Great turnover, put a lot of pressure on players in the first team like Jake Abbott, Sam Betty. He's got a bright future, a few more kgs on him, and I think we'll see an England cap out of him. Penalty there. The ref's going to have a word with Josh Buggier there. Nothing more of it, just a penalty. Holding on. Chris Jones is down. Sausage, his nickname is at training, because he's shaped like a sausage.
You know a thing or two about sausages, working on a farm, don't you, Ed? Was it eggs?
Yeah, we've done pigs before, Grosy, but we're mainly an egg farm, Free range chickens. We supply a few of the main wholesalers. But yeah, enjoy that when I'm not playing rugby, and I'm not in the gym. I'm not at home with my lovely wife Stacey, who's expecting a baby.
That's lovely. That's lovely to hear. How is Stace?
She's doing alright. She's at home at the moment. A little shout out to Stace there. How's it going? And to the two dogs, Winnie and Ella.
I like Stace.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll get back to the game there. We went off track a little bit. Army kick to the corner. They're on top here. I think the ref's on their side. Grosy, talk to me about the ref. Obviously, he's neutral in the game, but pressure goes from side to side. It looks like the Army have got the ref on their side at the moment.
Quite often, he'll give one penalty away and then look to even himself out in the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes. We saw Andrew Boyce low over the ball, got a turnover. 2 phases later, we get pinged for holding on. I think, again, a bit naive. We should have just played the corners and alleviated the pressure. And as it happened, they've kicked to the corner, and the Army are now 10 metres off our line into their pick and go game. And we're on the back foot. Very direct. Chris Jones needs to get back up into the line. That's great line speed. Schuster off the line, low tackle. Suddenly we're back on the front foot. The difference that makes is, Ed, we've just seen Schuster come off the line, get our line speed going forward, and suddenly with one phase later we've turned them over, and Stelling up the right wing with Jimmy Stevenson has a chance to attack.
And the Army have actually dominated the last 10 or 15 minutes. They haven't managed to add to their 3 points as yet. They're certainly in this game, aren't they?
They are. They're being allowed to stay in this game. Well, I don't want to disrespect them. It is only 6-3, but Worcester have had chances to almost suffocate the opposition by playing field position and by kicking when we're sort of behind our own 10-metre line. Instead, we've overplayed. We've been turned over, allowed them a free line out 10 metres from our line and to get into their pick and go game, which, as Ed says, one out runners probably suits their game plan. If we can hold on to ball, play in their half and less rugby in our half, then I've no doubt our scoreboard will start ticking. As it happens, again, 25 metres out, Army line out. Ed.
Got an overthrow again there, obviously carrying on with a messy line out from the Army. Scrum keeping them in the game, pick and go. They're a powerful side, these blokes. I've got a lot of admiration for these guys, that they do an unbelievable job, and a lot of respect for them, and they're strong characters. Not taking anything away from them in this game, because they're going well at the set piece, and they're showing a lot of passion, carrying hard. But we got a game around here. We got a game around here, guys. Keep tuned in with us, yeah.
Looks like Budgeon's made his way back out to the left wing. Utility back come forward. He's obviously a hugely experienced player. Number of years at Northampton and most recently at Exeter, and still plying his trade with the Army.
Three minutes to go to the break here at Sixways. It's Cavaliers 6, the Army 3. Both sides very much in this game, battling hard to win the ball and win territory and push forward. We've seen a few of our lads get their hands on the ball. We've seen Josh Watkins and James Stevenson making a few good breaks forward. The game being dominated by the forwards. Lots of scrummaging, lots of players hitting rucks, lots of line-outs. And George Ducote kicks upfield. Good tackle from Watkins. Do you see any more points being scored before the break, Alex?
How long have we got left, Tom?
A couple of minutes.
I don't think we need to force anything. Points will come second half if we play the right areas. Ben Howard, great take. He's got space as a 2v1 with Jimmy Stevenson. And that's exactly what we didn't need. Unforced errors. I keep talking about it, but we've got an opportunity there on kick return. It's exactly the sort of ball that Ben wants, and that's where he's most dangerous. Bit of space. As it happens, we've got the ball. We've got the ball back through Cam Goodhue. Nick Seymour again, second touch, and that's an outstanding offload. Now we can get in behind them. We've got numbers out to the left. Ball needs to come out to Tiff Eden as soon as possible, and he can move it wide. And we're on.
Story of the half there. Knock on again. Skills aren't great from the Warriors, from the Cavaliers there. I think a few boys are being on tomorrow doing some 10 off the left, 10 off the right. Yeah, a bit disappointing in that. It's stopping the game a little bit, but we're back to a scrum again, yeah. We need to front up. The Army is fixture. So this is on Twitter, Ed Sherrington and Alex Grove. We'll try and answer him throughout the game. Another decent scrum from the Army there. Powerful surge off the back, decent offload. Decent effort by Tiff there, little backwards roll as well. I don't know if that's in the tackle technique, but we'll carry on. We've got space on the outside, and we've got some fast boys there. I say that's forward, Grovesy. We've seen a few forward passes off you this season, haven't we, Alex?
Haven't done a forward pass since '93, Ed. I think it was the same game when you did not straight.
Yeah, that was the game. Anomalies. Back to you, Tom.
Tom in the studio, what you got for us?
Pass from you, Alex, and a bad throw from you, Ed.
Wayne brought out the 75 21 times for Worcester, Craig's a good friend of mine, but unfortunately he hung up the boots at the end of last season. I'd like to see their left winger, the Army's winger, get his hands on ball. He's looked electric warming up, and the first couple of times he's touched it now it's been lively, but not really had any space. I hope Tiff can stick the ball in behind him off this and not feed him easy counter-attacking opportunities.
Just a correction there. Craig Gillies obviously the highest appearance maker for Warriors of all time. I don't think it was quite 500, Alex. I think it's 281, but in the top appearance maker, and you're one of the top appearance makers, Centurion yourself.
Yeah, roughly like 126. Is it? I think so. Yeah, Craig, I was joking. It's not 521. He's played right until he was 36 this year, so he's an outstanding ambassador for the club. That's half time, and it's the Cavaliers 6, Army 3.
your destination.
I wish Worcester made portable sat-navs.
I wish Worcester made office chairs.
And umbrellas.
Computers.
Revolving doors.
Worcester actually make boilers, but they're so well built and so reliable, you'll wish we made everything. Just ask the thousands of installers and millions of owners. Worcester, you'll wish we made everything.
you can do a 3K in under 12. Like to see it, but you know how it is. Out on the full there, but it's a scrum. Let's see if Kerry Jones and the Cavaliers coaches can have had a good chat to them at half time, and we see what the scrum's like. Are we going for line out or are we going to scrum? Yeah, we're going line out. Wouldn't have done that myself, but that's where we're at at the Cavaliers at the moment, so we'll play from a line out on a halfway. Alex, what would you call you if you were playing 10?
I think we need to start playing a bit more rugby down in their half. Before half time, there were a few too many unforced errors, allowing the Army to get into their broken field game. It's now a standing ball from Tiff Eden, puts Andy Simmons on the outside, and he gets the ball away. This is now where we should capitalise, get into a bit of a structured game, and again, it's an unforced error, which has sort of been the story of the first half.
Stevenson had a few men outside him there. I think he could have to the left, but instead he went himself, got taken down.
I think the more we cough up ball is the Cavaliers. I'm talking on behalf of now. It's gonna fuel their strike runners and their lively back three. So we want to keep them quiet. And almost starve them possession.
Nobody puts a name on it. Little things like that will change a game. Army have come up with a ball here. Budging at 10 again then. Not much of a ball player. Stands up strong. Manages the offload though. Decent start by the Army here. They've obviously had their caffeine at half time. Great offloads there. Bit too far there, that last offload, and Warriors get the ball and the Cavaliers get the ball back.
A dangerous attack there for the Army, and they looked like they could have got in there, but defended well, and now Cavaliers will come at the other end.
You can see how dangerous the Army are when it's broken and they get into their offloading game. They really are a lethal team. But now the Warriors the Cavaliers back in possession and a chance to get some territory through, I think that's Shea Kerry on the blind side.
Going to correct you there, that is Josh Budgeon. Not Josh Budgeon.
Related to Chris Budgeon?
Yeah, different guy. That was Josh Buggier. One for the future there. Trained chest with him on Tuesday. Stronger than he looks. Obviously he was doing half what I was doing. Great carry there by Jimmy Stevenson, fast to its fibres up the wing. Half decent clear out, and we'll play again. We got Andy Simmons at first receiver. Decent carry again, Grosey. Tell us what's in your mind.
I think it's Ben Howard stepping up. We've not really seen much of Ben Howard. We talked about his ability to run from deep on counter attack, but it's nice to see him have touched the ball from first receiver. Ed, obviously the line-out's been sort of all over the place, if you don't mind me saying, from both teams. Bit of a lottery. Talk to me, what's the issue?
An issue? I'm not going to agree with you fully there. I think Worcester's line-out's been pretty decent. You got Chris Jones in the middle of there. I love throwing Chris Jones. I think he's a great line-out forward. The Army's has been a bit messy, but like I said, their scrum's been dominant, so it's a bit of both for each teams. We got a decent throw there from Nick Seymour. We're going for a little back peel, yeah. We got Jerome on a mental carry into midfield. We can play either side. We're looking to go with the wind, yeah. Tiff Eden, decent dummy. We've got Max Stelling, mental ball, great ball. We got Jimmy Stephen. Can he finish it? We got another knock on. Story of the half, Grosey. Story of the halves.
Yeah, but it all started with the set piece, Ed. You talk about. Well, I asked you about the lottery at the line out. Cavaliers get an outstanding line out ball, just what you want as a fly half. Tiff Eden gets the ball, second phase, pushes it across to Max Stelling, and suddenly we're playing on an edge. It gives Jimmy Stevenson a one-on-one with the winger, and that's what we're after.
And it's good team play as well, switching the ball out to the right and some of the backs getting their hands on the ball, just moving it and keeping the ball flowing.
Yeah, as soon as you get front foot ball, it gives the backs a chance to strike, and occasionally we've got to credit the forwards with providing that ball, and that occasion they did.
It's good to see Ben Howard down there controlling from the back. He's obviously captain tonight. He's got a big future ahead of him. I like the boy. He's great around the club. Grosley, you have a lot more to do with him. What do you think?
Obviously, interests outside of rugby. Ben's a women's swimwear model, as you can see if you look at the length of his legs, and he's quite a slight creature. But yeah, he's a top bloke. He's a young, promising athlete. And he recently squatted 40 kilos, which it's not your sort of stats, Ed, but it's he's growing.
Yeah, he's a young animal, competitive animal. Bat balls on beaches with dads, like I've said it in first half. These boys are growing. They're all growing. They're growing in mentally. They're growing physically. Not so much budging for the other side. Scrappy line out there from the Cavaliers. And we're back on the front foot with the Army. The Army have come out here well. Unforced errors from the Cavaliers are letting us down at the moment. It's been a scrappy affair. Tom, what do you think, mate, with your vast knowledge of rugby?
Well, I mean, going back to your point you were making about Ben Howard, a very good up and coming fullback, and given the captaincy yet again by Mark Hewitt. He's probably got one of the best players in the Premiership at the moment ahead of him in the Warriors first team. I mean, Alex, when you've got someone like Chris Pennell in front of you in the first team, is that an extra motivation for you to work hard and progress?
Well, he's a great person to learn from as well. Chris has been here, his longest serving member of the squad. He's probably having his best season with us. Unfortunately, we're not doing too well as a team, but Chris is obviously a bright light amongst our team, and someone that we all look up to, and someone that sets an example, particularly to people like Ben. That's a great kick from Tiff Eden. That's the sort of maturity I was talking about earlier when he played in the sevens. He's just seen a bit of space, and he's, again, net gain, our line out, Cavaliers line out, should I say, 30 metres out. There's no need to overplay, Ed. The last thing I can imagine you want is walking back to a line out having lost the kicking battle.
No, it's not what we want, but that's what the game's about, Groves. Like Tiff Eden, outstanding there. You say an old head on young shoulders. He's had the vision there, put it in the corner. That's exactly where we want to play. We just need to get these unforced errors out and starting with this line out. Let's have a look.
It's been a much better start to this second period from the Cavaliers. They've had the ball in the Army's half for most of the second period, actually, and they drive forward. George Ducote just running the show there. The ball switched out to the right. Ben Howard finds Stevenson.
Strong.
Stevenson brought down. Retain the ball here. They can see the penalty.
Great work by Ben Howard there. Put them into space, but unfortunately they were so quick they ran away from their support. Nobody was there for the ruck. Great turnover by the Army. We're knocking on the door. We just can't get through it at the moment. Putting a lot of pressure on the Army. They're soaking it up well. We just need to keep playing down there. Groves, as there's a little stoppage in play, as most of the viewers can realise, you're a Scottish international by the accent. How's Scotland, do you think, going to go against the Wales next weekend?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few changes in the squad. Reading today, there's a few people have been questioned injury-wise from last week. Pretty bruising encounter they had against the French. And Scott Johnson was going to delay naming the team for that reason. So it'd be interesting to see what sort of team they put out. I think the Welsh in Wales are a hell of a challenge. I think a different sort of team when they played against England at the weekend. I don't know. They didn't seem as sort of fired up for it. They weren't as physical as when they play at the Millennium, and they're a different beast, as I'm sure you're aware of.
I don't watch the internationals, Grovesy. I'm a Worcester Warrior. That's all I concentrate on. Decent defence of the line out there by the Cavaliers. Oh, some great work by the Army winger there, but not good enough. Off his feet, roll away. We've got another penalty. Are we gonna boot this over? Are we gonna go for the corner?
With the score so tight in the second half, 6-3, and with someone of Tiff's ability at kicking for goal, what do you do in this position? Do you say let's take the points and let's try and put a bit of distance between us, or do you kick into touch?
Well, we kick it to the corner, but obviously we don't kick it into the corner like that, because now that's a well, happy days there. I think somebody was looking down on us because it was a horrible kick by Tiff, snowflake, and but they've knocked it, and now it's a scrum 5. Now, for me as a hooker, this is what I want. I want a scrum 5. Now I be getting very excited, getting all my boys around me. We're pushing these boys over, but we're budging there. He's having a great game for the Army. So I don't know what we'll do here. I'd like to see boys a bit more animated than they are, but let's chuck it in the mix to see how it comes out.
As you say, it's a fantastic bit of luck there for the Cavaliers, because that was a poor kick from Tiff Eden. But can we make the most of it? Can we get the first try of the night?
Is that a question to me, or is that a rhetorical question, Tom?
It's a question for George Ducote. Can put the ball into the scrum.
Tom, George is playing.
Push forward.
George is playing, so we won't be able to answer that till after the game. But let's go back to the comment.
We'll wait a few seconds to see whether they can answer it for us. Quick tap penalty there.
Great leg drive by Cam Goodhue there. Ref's having a deep squat there. Would like to see 100k on his back at that depth.
How hard is it for the ref to actually see what's going on when a situation like that presents itself, and to make a decision of whether the ball's gone over the line?
I don't know, Tom. I'm not a ref. But they've obviously got TMOs these days, and they'll use them. But we haven't got that tonight, unless YouTube can reverse it for us. But yeah, the referees. I think the referee's done a decent job. We're back to a scrum here now. I think we need a try here, guys. We need to come away with points.
You just think if Cavaliers can get a try from this sort of position, it could just open the game up and be the first of many, you feel?
I don't know what I'm feeling at the moment. But that's a decent scrum from the pack, from the Army there. That is a psychological blow there. I've got to say, guys, massive respect for these Army boys. They're strong boys. Chris Budgeon there leading from the front, outstanding drive over what is a strong Warriors pipe, and the boys on the deck, and they're not happy.
Probably the best we've seen the Army play on any of their visits to Sixways. They're very much in this game, and they're defending resiliently, and you think if they get a chance they might fancy themselves to take it and take the lead maybe.
Yeah, it's a completely different side from what we saw at Sixways last year. The Army I'm talking about now, they're clearly hurt from last year and want to make amends, and up front they're dominating. We can't put the pressure on the Army because they're dismantling us up front, unfortunately. But if we can back our fitness in the last
changes. Talk us through the changes
in the last quarter. We've got young Cam Josh, I think his name, is coming on the second row. His first time in the UK, arrived in the country I think 48 hours ago, and he's been named on the bench. Obviously you know very little about him, but it's nice to see the brothers playing alongside each other. Reminds me of a young Boris Johnson. Mayor of London, Tom, the guy with the big blonde mop on his head.
Are we talking in terms of
Conservative
looks, or are we talking in terms
his
of
political beliefs? I doubt it, because he's just come over to the UK.
Bubbly personality we're so used to seeing from Boris Johnson.
I'm his blonde hair, mate. That's all.
And Dean Ryan actually spoke about Cam Goodhue's brother in the week to the press, and said he's tipped as a very good player back in New Zealand, and one with a very big future.
Yeah, I think he's only 18, 19, so fair play to him coming over 48 hours later, putting his boots on against clearly a strong Army side. But yeah, he's got a good opportunity. 25 minutes or so left, and to put a marker down on this game.
We've also seen Jeremy Sewer come on at scrum half in place of George Ducote.
Sewer, good friend of mine, good player. He's had a decent season. I spoke to him earlier on in the week, and he was like, "I just want to play, bro." And I was like, he's a good guy, and he loves playing his rugby, and what he said to me shows that, Hopefully he'll spark a little bit of life into this Cavalier squad. Not taking anything away from George Ducote. He has played very well. Bit of feedback for him, I'd say get on the sunbeds or have a spray tan. He's a little bit pale for my liking. Grosy, back to you.
Where could he get a spray tan? Do you know of anywhere? Because you had your girlfriend, your wife, sorry, she got
His
spray
wife,
tan,
mate, Stacey, pregnant with little Fion. What's your issue, mate? Anyway, back to the game.
Back to the game. There's a bit of a squiff line out there from the Army. We're going for another scrum. Psychologically, that had been a tough scrum to take, the last one where the Army dominated it. So let's see if the boys are fronted up. Like I spoke about earlier in the game, have they clicked it out? Have they got their minds right for this scrum? Let's have a look. And let's have a look if Cam Goodhugh's brother Josh can give some good weight in this scrum. He's got a decent set of quads on him.
And Sewer with his first putting since coming on.
Oh, still a lot of heat coming through in and out.
Jeremy Sewer, outstanding play there from Jeremy Sewer. You can see why he's an international for Samoa. And we've got ball, Tiff Eden. We've got out to Jimmy Stevenson. He hasn't had that much space today. The Army have defended well, not taking anything away from them. Let's see where we're going from here.
Need to look after Schuster there. Oh, there's space on this blind side. Can Sewer get outside? There's a bit of a mismatch. Ed.
The pass, can't find his own
Story
man.
of the half.
I think you call that in the trade a plastic bag. I don't know if a hand touched it or it was just a slippy pass, but you can see what Sewer brings there. You know, he looked up. There wasn't many on the blind. He went down there, and once again it was execution that let us down on the night.
We've got Elliot Davis coming on here. Will it be Tiff Eden he replaces? No, it's not. It's James Stevenson who makes way for him.
Elliot, top player, top boy. Get on well with Elliot. Very good boy around the squad. Like, everyone gets on well with him. Let's see what we can bring to the game. Josh Goodhue there with the first carry, absolutely mental leg drive, takes us forward. We got Nick Seymour, fellow Kiwi, up behind him. Pick and go's going well. Now we're hitting Elliot. What can he do? Out the back, Tiff Eden, ball, Andy Sims. I think you call that in the trade a crowbar. Should have had some hands there, but we're in a... Come on, Nick Seymour. Nice. We've had a rip. They've ripped it. We just can't get over that line, Grovesy. We just can't get over that whitewash.
It was outstanding play, and it just had I think it was Max Stelling outside of Andy, and it was a simple 2v1. That's what it looked like from up here. Is there an opportunity here to... No, there's not. So I have an Army line out on their 10-metre line. Or, no, 30 metres out from their own line.
Cavaliers having the possession, and they're having possession in the right areas, but they're just not managing to go that one step further, are they?
Yeah, huge amounts of possession and pressure, more importantly. But talk about that whitewash, getting over that whitewash and that potential white line fever. It looks like we've got a bit of it at the moment because it's that final pass that's killing us. But yeah, if we can hold our scrum, I've got no doubt that our backs will finish off some of the ball that the forwards are giving us.
Do you think players are trying to do too much with the ball when they have it, or do you think the Army are just defending so well that the Cavaliers can't break through?
They're bringing a lot of line speed, the Army. They're quite aggressive when they're in the contact, but we've still got opportunities to put tries away, and that was one that we let go. I think interesting. Tiff Eden looks like he's moved to 30. Max Stelling onto the right wing. That's an outstanding ball. Stelling hits the back of the line out.
Grosy there. I'm gonna take over.
Seymour.
Stelling's a centre, Alex. Yeah, he's not throwing in the line out, mate. I don't know what rules you're going for. We're going for a pick and go game here. It's gone well for us before. We're getting the ball out. Elliot, show and go. Tiff Eden's there. Who's with him? Elliot, he's certainly shown something different. Quick ball, yeah. Quick ball. It's not quick. They've slowed it down well. The Army have got great line speed. Fair play to him.
Great link-up play from Tiff Eden and Elliot Davis.
Are we into our pick and go game here?
Yep.
I think we've
been turned over again on the line.
Again.
Bit of deja vu there.
Again, we're getting so close, but it's that final pass. It looked like a 2v1 opportunity when Elliot went through, but again, we're keeping the tempo high.
What's this going?
Attack after attack for the Cavaliers, trying to break through this resilient Army defence, and they go out to the left.
John Hughes there with a great carry. Haven't seen much of him, but strong carry from him. It's great to get these boys off the bench. You know, he's obviously not a regular first-team trainer, but he's getting a bit of exposure here, showing what he can do to Dean Ryan and the rest of the coaching staff. We've played the majority of this half in the Army half, but we haven't come away. We haven't had a score in this second half. It's the Army throw here. Let's see if Chris Jones can put pressure on the line out and see what we can do from here.
Yeah, really impressed with John Hughes there. He's had a sniff at a gap and he definitely took it. I hope Ben Howard's all right. I'm sure it was a tactical change, and I didn't see him limp off. So I'm sure they're just looking to give John a run. And can we squeeze the Army here? We'll have a line out with 30 out again. Mate, Shervs, we're all this possession, all this territory, all this pressure. Is it a matter of time before we get over the line?
You like to think so, Grovesy. You like to think so. We got 2 subs coming on here. Number 20.
It's Cam Thompson, number 20, coming on for Cavaliers.
Cam Thompson, and we got Val Ruskin, Loosehead, coming on. Let's see what these can do. George Porter coming off, and Andrew Boyce. Boyce's been very busy tonight. Been quite impressed with him, and Ports as well. Scrum's not gone the way he wanted it to, but he's been decent around the park. Let's see how this lineup can go. Another attacking set.
Outstanding line out, Ed. Got to be proud of that. And Elliot Davies again, always gets to the soft shoulder.
He's really injected a bit of pace into this side since he came on.
Been really impressed with Elliot.
Army win the ball back in their own 22, and they opt to kick long.
That's fine. This is where. Looks rather high to me. As the ref picked it up, he's let it go.
And just putting the pressure on the Army again by kicking into their 22. Jeremy Sewer there. Won't find touch.
If the Warriors
Chris
can move
Jones
this
can
to the open, there's a hell of a lot of space. This needs to move. That's a great ball from Tiff Eden. Cam Goodhue's gone on the outside and he's beaten him.
Mental gas there from Goodhue. I tipped him earlier on in the game. He's gone well, and Nick Seymour carrying it back up.
It's on if they move it, Ed.
It is. Elliot Davis on the ball again.
Could be a try on debut from Josh. Here it is.
Oh. Once again. He's done well. He's done well again. He's done well. He's one for the future there for definite.
Yeah, 2 people who've really made an impact off the bench, or 3 people, should I say. In the forwards, Josh Goodhue, Elliot Davies, and John Hughes in the fullback, looking real lively. Points to prove, clearly. If Sewer can get this out to Elliot, we can relaunch this attack. He's freed his arms. That's an outstanding offload. Outstanding offload, Ed. Chris Jones frees his arms. Ball. Ed.
Chris Jones tipped him early on in the game.
An outstanding offload. Outstanding offload, Ed. Chris Jones frees his arms. Ball over the line. Ed.
Chris Jones tipped him early on in the game. He's got a lot of experience, you know. Great line out forward. He's got skills, guys. He's a footballer. He's a footballer. We've breached the line. Attacking set number 12, I think. We've breached the line. We're in front. Cavaliers 11, Army 3. Cavaliers 11, Army 3.
It was always on in Cam Thompson, just the man to open up the Army defence and touchdown for that all-important try.
Clean off pressure there, Ed.
And he's gone all the way.
He's one for the future, putting a lot of pressure on Grovesy, and then again unforced error. And the Army have got it. The Army have got it.
And as you say, the game is opening up.
I think this is going to suit the Army, you know. If they keep it broken up, they're going to get budging at 10 again. Goes to the miss pass to the knees. I don't know if this is tactical, but
he certainly finds himself at first receiver a hell of a lot. Strong carrier. Probably better leave the distributing to the backs.
Hands like cricket bats. Only joking. He's a great scrummager. He's been great for the game. I had a pleasure scrummaging against him over the years. Very, very tough tight head.
I think the last time we played against the Warriors first team, he actually scored a try for extra chief, so we were pleased to see the back of him that day.
All right, rub it in. Right, guys, we got a scrum here. We got a new loose head on. Val. He's been training us for a while. Let's see how he goes in the scrum against a tough character, Budgeon. Let's have a look at this scrum, guys. Something's not happy. Budgeon's not happy there with our scrum. The ref's going to set it up again. We've had no issue. New person on in the front row. Let's see how it goes here now. I'm interested to see this scrum. I'm actually got a little bit of interest to see how this loose head scrums for the Cavaliers.
Cavaliers lead 13-3 here at Sixways. A Cam Thompson try, 2 Tiff Eden penalties and a Tiff Eden conversion.
Same old story. Another penalty to the Army side. Yeah,
lots
boys.
of steam coming off that scrum there.
Well, yeah, it's a cold night, Tom. Boys are hot.
Thanks for that, Tom, about the steam. Little break in play. Ed, we touched on the egg industry earlier on. Obviously, yours are clearly free range, and do they run riot? Do you ever have problems with foxes and stuff killing the chickens, or how do you put traps down for the foxes? How do you keep them at bay?
Yeah, foxes are an issue for us. We've got somebody full time monitoring that. We don't do anything inhumane to the foxes. Like they're animals, lovely creatures. But yeah, we've got them in big pens, and everything's going well at the farm. Let's get back to the game.
Thank you, Ed. Mate, we'll touch on that again. There's a few things I want to ask you about the foxes, but anyway. We are back in, we've got an Army line out, full line out. It's probably one of the very few times I've actually been in the Cavaliers half. It'll be interesting to see if they can actually hold on to the ball and assert some pressure.
The Army win the ball when they come forward.
That's an outstanding line break. This is the left winger we were talking about. The first time we've seen him in space. He's celebrating. He's scoring. It's the Army going over. It's 13-8 conversion to come. Ed, we talk about the set piece, the importance of set piece. Army goes to the back of the line now. It's a 9-10 wraparound. Blind winger coming off his wing. He's scoring, Ed.
All I can say is a mental liner. Absolutely mental liner.
But it's 13, Army 8.
We always get a lot of Army supporters in the ground, a lot of them forces themselves, we love having them, and we welcome them with open arms, and we got a game on around here,
And Alex, you've played a few Cavaliers games this season. I think you played one in October, was it, on your way back from injury? How important is it for players to play for the Cavaliers on their way back from injury?
Thank you, Tom, captain try on my first game back. I'm joking, mate. It was great to lead the boys out, and you can see the exciting players that are coming through to play alongside these guys. John Hughes again looking lively, ball in hand. Max Stelling does the smart thing coming off his wing. Mate, I really enjoyed it. It was a great chance to put a marker down and get some game time under my belt after a long pre-season and coming back after injury.
And did you play against the Army earlier in your career when you were a bit younger?
I think I played an under-21s game against the Army, obviously, a few years ago. Penalty in a key position here. Sorry, Tom, just getting back to the rugby. I don't want to deviate too much.
How does it differ playing against an Army side rather than, say, a normal reserve side of a normal...
In terms of our preparation, I'm going to say nothing, because you can see that the quality that they possess. We certainly don't take the Army lightly. They're a quality rugby side, as I've shown tonight, and we'll prepare as thoroughly against the Army as we would any Premiership A team side.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah, we got 2 more subs here. We got Paul Andrew on for Jerome, and we've got Callum Young the young hooker, coming on for Nick Seymour. Don't know much about Callum Young, except he's got a good future ahead of him, but I know a lot about Paul Andrew. Great scrummage in Loosehead. He's on today at Tighthead though, so let's see how he goes. Decent restart take from Chris Jones there, and then we're back to Grovesy, who loves chatting tonight. Can't keep him off the mic.
Important to mention, we talk about Paul Andrew and you know him and liking him so much, Ed. What's his nickname?
His nickname's Candy, after John Candy, famous actor. He's got a good future ahead of him, but I know a lot about Paul Andrew. Great scrummage in Loosehead. He's on today at Tighthead though, so let's see how he goes. Decent restart take from Chris Jones there, and then we're back to Grovesy, who loves chatting tonight. Can't keep him off the mic.
Important to mention, we talk about Paul Andrew and you know him and liking him so much, Ed. What's his nickname?
His nickname's Candy, after John Candy, famous actor. They look like twins.
Obviously from the film Cool Runnings, great film. Anyway, Ed, back to the game, please.
Yeah, back to the game. Another penalty there, the Army. Could we just get a time check, Tom? How long we got left in the half here?
I think we're past the midway stage. We should probably get a clock. We're about 17 minutes, give or take a few seconds.
Another scrappy line out there from the Army.
The try scorer has the ball in his hands. They've got pace, they've got strength, they've got weapons in their armoury.
Diving over.
Decent work there from Josh.
Oh, fantastic work to win the penalty there. Elliot Davis taking over the kicking responsibilities into touch. Hopefully he can find touch here. He does, and Cavaliers have the line out. Right, 2 metres out. Alex Grove doing some stretching up here on the gantry. You haven't played a match since Harlequins. The next match is London Wasps for the first team. What have you been doing in the period in between?
4 days in Dubai, which was nice to rest the body, Tom. Obviously, you know, we can't just book holidays off when we feel like it. So, fortunately, in these 2 weeks off, it was an opportunity to get away and decide to make the most of it. So, got a bit of sun and a bit of R&R. Anyway, back to the game, please, Tom.
Decent line out there from Callum, first carry. Got a decent drive on, and then a carry out from Val. Worcester on the front foot here. Good Hugh on the ball again.
Been strong tonight, Ed.
And yeah, his leg drive's been outstanding. You know, he's a good player.
That's a great ball from Elliot Davis. If we can free this, Andy Simmons held up, double man tackle. Quick ball here, should see a score. Oh, it's outstanding footwork, and it looks like a try. No, touch judge put his flag up. It looked good from here, but touch judge, to be fair, has probably got a better view of it. What I'm really impressed with, Ed, is the width of Elliot Davies from Jeremy Sewer. That's what he's brought to the game. He's really testing Sewer's pass, but when he gets hold of the ball, he cuts out 4 or 5 men with one pass.
Yeah, they've definitely put a bit of a buzz about the team since they've come on. Not taking anything away from the other boys that started, but yeah, they're playing well. Great overs line there from Andy Simmons. And we're back down in the half where we want to be. Pressure on the Army throw. Chris Jones again.
Mate, you talked about his ability to read the play. Comes with experience, I suppose, Ed?
Yeah, it obviously comes with experience, yeah, and a natural gift to the game. Chris Jones there with another steal. And there we are again, we've coughed up the ball. And the Army are off. He's booted it downfield. Luck of the bounce here, guys. Luck of the bounce.
Oh, he's got the bounce. Can he link up with his support numbers? Oh, it looked like a fumble went backwards.
This game's gone a bit loose here. Unlucky the hands there by the young hooker. Talk about the oval ball. Luck definitely with the Army side tonight.
It's like playing with an egg, Ed. We've got breaking play. We talk about the threats the Army pose on the Cavaliers. The threats the Foxes pose on the Chickens.
You know, the Chickens are scared, you know. That's what's coming from the Fox at the night, but we do everything in our power to keep them safe.
Legally.
Keep them laying.
Legally, clearly.
Obviously, legally and humanely. Keep them safe and to keep them laying for me. Because I like them laying, you know.
So how many chickens have you got on the farm?
Got 60,000 chickens down on the farm there, Groves. You know, every one of them I know by name.
Who's your favourite?
Doris the hen is my favourite. She lays a lovely egg. Have it on the weekend when I go back.
Do you just have Doris's egg? Because it'd be quite a lonely egg on its own, wouldn't it?
No. Doris, she lays a few for me in the week and then I have them more on a Sunday. See, that's why I'm a big boy. Quite a bit of depth to me. It's because I like a bit of casein protein from the eggs. Let's get back to the game. Let's have a Warriors scrum here. See how Val goes on the loose head.
Scrum. I think Paul Andrews come on and tightened up things up in the scrum with Val.
I called it, Groves. I called it earlier. Paul is a great player.
Great bloke.
It's decent carry there from the Army. They got front football. Guys, if you've liked what you've heard tonight from me and Alex Grove, hit us up on Twitter, tell us how we did.
At Ed Shervington.
At Ed
Alex
Shervington,
Grove.
Alex Grove, yeah. We'd like to see your feedback. Maybe it'd be a thing we do quite often.
And
Army
course,
on the top.
Of course, Ed, you can follow the Worcester Warriors Twitter account at Worcester Warriors.
Yeah, you can follow them
too. Log on to Facebook as well and follow Worcester Warriors on the Facebook.
Have some feedback on Tom as well, see how he's done.
Not the best.
Only joking.
Not great. It's awkward.
Penalty here for the Army. Can we get a time check there, Tom? How long's left on the game, please? We got 2 minutes left here,
They've
guys.
got to go for the corner, have they?
The Army are going for the corner.
They're 8 points adrift, so they need 2 scores.
They need 2 scores.
So the importance of taking those points when Tiff had a penalty in front of the 6 has given us that 8 point gap and the 2 try buffer. They'll probably catch and drive here, will they? Or they go to the back of the line out, go to the tail, which they've actually had some mileage out of.
I don't know how many times they've drove this half, Grosey, this game. I don't know if it's been going that well from Worcester. Good defensive drive. Carl Hogg, great defensive drive coach. They've
taken those points when Tiff had a penalty in front of the 6 has given us that 8 point gap and the 2 try buffer. They'll probably catch and drive here, will they? Or they go to the back of the line out, go to the tail, which they've actually had some mileage out of.
I don't know how many times they've drove this half, Grosey, this game. I don't know if it's been going that well from Worcester. Good defensive drive. Carl Hogg, great defensive drive coach. They've gone to the back of the line out.
Oh, they've hit it as well.
Done. They're going for a drive, Groves. You've called it.
I called it, mate.
You've called it.
I called it. That's a great counter pigeon.
Like I said, though, I called it earlier. We got a decent defensive drive. We both called it, Grosey. There we are, and that could be the ball game.
Minutes to go, seconds to go. Cavaliers holding on. It's a bitterly cold night.
Oh my God! Pass me the mic.
Got to give credit to the Army team here tonight, though, guys. Great blokes, do a mental job. A lot of respect for them, and they've played well here tonight. Tom, don't give up your day job.
Thanks for joining us today, boys. Have you enjoyed the experience of coming and doing a bit of commentary?
Really enjoyed it, Tom. Really
Massive.
enjoyed it. Think I'm a natural.
I think the people want us, mate. That's the thing.
Big shout out to B Champions TV as well. Great guys running the show here. Very talkative, friendly. Top product they're selling.
Is this an option for you guys when you do call it a day, one day to?
I'm a farmer, mate.
Mate, farmer. 60,000 chickens.
Groves is not a
Doris
farmer.
is laying,
do you
mate.
fancy
Groves is a millionaire.
career in journalism? Do you fancy a career in journalism when you leave?
He's minted, bro.
We've got silly here. No answer to that question. Anyway, it's finished. Cavaliers 16, the Army 8. Entertaining game. Thanks for joining us. Good night.